Hiya, it's Martin here again, and welcome to another episode of converting Larry the Landy into an Overland camper. Now, it's been several months since the last video, and that's because it's been winter time, it's been cold, it's been wet. It's almost spring now, so I can get back out and start doing some work on this. So think of this as season 2. On the last episode, I was doing this welding along here and underneath, making the whole thing structurally sound. So that is how I left it in the winter time. I did do a few other minor jobs. First of all, I just patched the floor pans just up here behind the mudguard there. It's not structural, but it just needed to be done so that you don't get wet feet. But the main thing I did was change the timing belt. So the timing belt's behind here, and to do that you have to take off the timing cover, and the bolts on these things are notorious for seizing and then shearing off. So I took my time on that. I took off the front, the grille and this front cross member, took out the radiator intercooler, so there was loads of room to get square onto these bolts, particularly these ones around the water pump, and used one of these impact drivers that hit with a big hammer, and so it shocks the threads clear, and then you've got more chance of getting them out as a whole. So that's all done. New coolant in, good flush out of the engine, things like that. So now I'm ready to start on some bigger jobs. Today's job is to start changing the doors. So these front doors have completely had it. This particular door on the passenger side is only in its place because it's got a ratchet tie down pulling it in to the gearbox. That's the only thing that's holding it in place, because as you can see down here, this particular hinge is completely had it. So they're shot. The rubbers around the windows are completely gone, and it's in a poor state. On the driver's side, at least the door opens, but you know, it's still completely gone underneath. It's rotted all the way through underneath. It's not really salvageable. It's in a very poor state. And this is the problem with Land Rover doors, is that you've got an aluminium outer and a steel inner shell, and the two react with one another, and you get corrosion as soon as they get wet. So originally I was just going to get new doors, so that would be the outer and the subframe, and then you've got to change over the windows and all the window winder mechanism and the door cards, and I'd have to change the rubbers and all that sort of thing. So it was going to be really expensive. So I've come up with a different solution. So what I'm going to do is use series doors, series 3 Land Rover doors, which are 2 parts. So you've got the bottom part here, and then the window fits on the top. Now the great thing about these is nice simple locks. You know, just all the lock is here. There's no door card or anything like that. There's not these stupid little bits of coat hanger wire from the button to the lock. There's no window winder mechanism, because this just slides. It's just a window that slides back, and this window part just bolts onto the top of the base part. So in the summertime you can just unbolt the window frame completely and have half a door. So there's lots of advantages, the simplicity being the main thing for putting these doors on. So let's see how we get on. What I was hoping was that these bolts would just undo, but they're just going round and round. So I'm going to have to take, well, I have taken off the door card, and I think these are supposed to be captured bolts, but they're just ordinary bolts. So I'll have to hold those to undo them. But now that the card's off, you can see how bad the door is, that it's just all rotting away. And if I was going to replace the door, then I'd got to take off this cover here that houses all the window winding mechanism. You can see this is part of the window winding mechanism, and it's just it's completely had it. So it would have been really expensive to renew all the bits and pieces, so I think it's a much better option to put the series doors on. So I've taken the nuts off these bolts here, and at the last minute I remembered to take off the door stay as well. So hopefully now I can close the door and undo these. We'll get these out. Save the spacers. Right, hopefully this will just lift out now. There we are. I've got new extended arms so that you can see out round the body, so I need to change those arms. So these have been here for probably as old as the vehicle is, so I don't know how easy they're going to come out, but we'll give it a squirt of release fluid. See whether they're going to move at all. No. Might have to put a bit of heat on. Or try heat. Give it a little tap. Have a look and see. Oh yeah. That's the old one off, got a new one to put on. So that's the old arm there, and that's the new longer one. So got the new door bottom. As you can see, much simpler inside, just plain metal really. So let's see whether it's going to fit in the hole. Look at that, almost like it's made for it. So I'm going to put the bolts in, and then I can work out how I'm going to do the striker plate on the other side. Right, so I've put the nuts and bolts on here. These are only temporary. I've got some new ones come in that are stainless steel, so they'll look smarter. But this is really just so that I can set the thing up. So now what I need to do is work out the catch. It's a different type of catch and it's lower down, but there are some places here that looks like they were designed for the types of catch that I've got. So I'll take this off and then offer up the new one. This is the new lock mechanism. Really simple, because everything is here together. So it clips down like that, and you just lift the handle and it releases it. So no rods or anything, and this just slides in there. That's going to bolt in there. I've got a bolt and a nut plate to go on there to fix that in place. That then comes round to hit the striker plate. So this is the striker plate, and that's just going to use those two bolts there and bolt on like that. So I'm going to get the latch in and the striker plate, and then see how close it is to actually working. So the lock is in now, and that is held in. You have one of these captured bolt plates that goes on the outside up in there. So these are Torx head bolts that go there, and on the bottom you have a bolt plate that goes through from the other side, and you put nuts on it. So it's fixed from either side, so for security reasons. I've put the striker plate in, but I'm going to close the door. Let's see if I can get it. But it's far too close in, so I need to move this striker plate out so that it catches on there. It looks as though it's the right sort of height, but it needs to move out, so I'll have to drill some new holes for that. So I've just made a little mark here with a white pen as to where I think the striker pin should be, and it's going to be right up against this here. This plate here, it looks as though it's just blind riveted on, and I think it's probably because the old striker plate was too deep and had to come out, so this space has been put on. So I'll have to just drill this out and get rid of this, because I don't want that, because this is going to be half on and half off, so it'd be better if I got rid of that plate. So that's the striker plate mounted there. So let's see whether the door closes now or not. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that looks as though that's just in the right place. Let's see whether we can see it from here. There we are. Okay. Right, and now I need to put the glass, the top half on. So there's a rubber seal that fits between the two to keep the water out, and it should just slide into the holes on the top here. So let's have a look. That's it, and then this rubber needs to be just in the right place so that it's lipped over between the two. So I'll tighten up those bolts, and then I'll see what the shut lines are like. So this window is just held on by two 17mm nuts on either side. So it's ever so easy just to undo it and take the whole thing off if it's hot and you don't want just half a window open. So what I just need to do now is trim off the excess rubber at either end, and then we can see how it fits in the hole. So I've used a scalpel just to trim off the excess bits at either end. So let's close the door now. And it's not bad. Shut lines, it's good on this side. Fine along the bottom. There is a big gap up here, but seeing as it's okay on that side, there's not much I can do about that. It looks like it's always been like that. You can tell from the moss there that that's how the door is always shut. So you've got quite a big gap there, but this side is fine. I think I just need to just make it a bit easier to, it's just a bit tight. You've got to slam the door to make the second catch come round, because there's like two positions on the catch. You've got the first position there, and then you've got a second position there, which is only when you can operate the lock. Without, if it's only on the first position, you can't operate the lock. If it's just on that one, then the lock doesn't work. It has to go all the way in to allow the lock to work. So I just need to release that. Then just here, there's a little plastic catch that goes up to stop the window sliding. So I just need to fit that in, put a couple of self-tapping screws in there, and then I'm done. So here's the catch. Just pushing the button and slide it down so that you can slide the window up, backwards and forwards, and then lock it back in place. So there we are. and there it is, locked. So there we are, that's the door on the driver's side done. Just got to repeat it on the other side.